On the campus of Loyola Marymount University here in LA, part 2 of the PCH Cup. Steve Quist, Ryan Hollins with you. Kirsten Watson will join us shortly. Our starting lineups for this afternoon's WCC Game of the Week are brought to you by University Credit Union. Bank with your brain. For the Waves, it's Dunn, Cam Edwards, Smith, Cooper Jr., and Ross. For the Lions, on the right of your screen, Scott, Markison, McClendon, Quintana, and Bateman. Before we tip, Kirsten Watson joins us with more on Pepperdine forward Cam Edwards. Kirsten?
As Cam Edwards is in his third season with Pepperdine, but due to injury, his playing time has been limited. That being said, after earning all freshman WCC honors, he sat out his sophomore preseason with a fractured jaw and then missed 9 games midseason. This year, he's missed 10 games with an undisclosed injury, but when I spoke with Coach Romer about his return, he said Cameron brings leadership and more offense to this team. He keeps this team balanced. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Kirsten. We appreciate that. A little premature tip-off here in Los Angeles.
Oh, man, these guys are ready to go. They're ready to go. That's all that means, baby.
They must know I have a second and third game to broadcast later tonight down in San Diego. Thank you, guys. Woo. Loyola Marymount is in white, and Pepperdine is in the dark colors on the road. And the first shot for the Lions is out of the hands of James Bateman.
Great sign so far for Coach Dunlap. He plays a lot of switching defenses.
Here they go in transition, a 3-on-1. McClendon got fouled by Colby Ross as he was attacking the rim.
Steve, you couldn't ask for more. You get it stop, and you're out in transition where LMU has really struggled. And they're facing a Coach Lorenzo Romar team. This was my, I feel like I wasn't coached by him, but I should have been. I signed with Coach Romar out of high school, but he plays an up-tempo style tempo, Steve. He likes to run, get up and down. If they can rebound and defend, they have a chance to have a lot of success.
That was a long time ago. He signed you, and he was at St. Louis after he left Pepperdine the first time. Mike Dunlap in his 5th season. Both these coaches won their 400th career win 1 week ago today on Saturday. So they'll try and decide who's the better of the 2 programs here today and which squad's got it going. Again, the first time around, it was the Waves in Malibu winning by 15.
You're going to see a chess match. I mean, Lorenzo Romar and Coach Dunlap. I mean, 2 of the finest, not just in the West Coast Conference, but in college and professional basketball combined.
Cam Edwards had the offensive rebound off of the missed shot, and an entry pass inside goes to Darrell Dunn, rejected near the rim.
So pay attention to this 2-3 zone right now. They're really going to look to take care of the paint and challenge Pepperdine to hit outside shots.
James Bateman with a foul there.
Love this, putting it on the deck. See the big fella staying down, working on his verticality, going in, catching the shot up top.
LMU with the early 1-0 lead.
Steve, LMU, they really hang their hat on the defensive end of the floor. And this has been personal for Dunlap.
Wow, a blocking foul underneath.
And
you get Jeffrey McClendon.
And Steve, you got to love that if you're Coach Dunlap, that your team is looking to find their energy on the defensive end of the floor, rather than looking just for their offense. So that's the personality, that's the culture that he's created here, and the guys are buying in.
Pepperdine inbound, quick inbound goes into Cam Edwards, and just right of the lane gets the floater up and down to tie the game at 2.
Such a skilled shot over a 7-footer. You don't see that every day.
Lions lost 73-55 to Gonzaga on Thursday night in Spokane. They held the Zags, though, to 73 points at home, which is actually huge because Gonzaga started the week averaging 93 points per game. Top scoring offensive mark in the conference and one of the best in the country.
Well, Steve, what's always going to be tough is you're not going to get your numbers against LMU because they're so patient offensively and they just grind you out defensively. Good sign for Markison, even though he got the foul right there trying to post up. Steve, I love how aggressive he was. He didn't get the touches in the first game, wasn't able to dominate and have a normal performance. So he understands he's got to do more for LMU to be successful.
First time around, Pepperdine made 11 threes. Speaking of threes, it's Smith right on cue, huh?
Can't tell you how I'm impressed with that young man right there, how much work he's put in the offseason to become a shooter. He was a non-shooter last year. You didn't have to guard him.
That's a great point. He made only 1 3-pointer all last season. He's shooting now 38% from beyond the arc as Matisse Markison knocks down the jumper.
You love that from the big fella, showing his versatility, not just doing it in the paint, but stepping out and getting his shot because this team needs him to have success.
And we have the travel.
And that's what LMU likes to do. They switch up their zones. That time it looked more of a 1-2-2 look with Markinson taking the high post, but it just throws you off balance because you're not sure when to attack, when to move the ball, when to be patient.
Turnover on Cam Edwards. Turnovers will be key. That is the second for the Pepperdine Waves, who are pretty darn good in turning over their opponents. And as far as turnover margin is concerned, one of the best in the country and the top mark in the WCC. They turn their opponents over 4 more times as that floater out of the hands of Bateman is no good.
And that's one of the keys that Lorenzo Romar really preaches in practice. Guys, we work so hard defensively, but we give it up with the offensive rebounds, even though Loyola wasn't able to convert right there.
Looking at the turnover margin in the WCC, what I was talking about, Pepperdine plus 4.3. That's a turnover better than Gonzaga.
Oh yeah, and that's what when you got Kobe Ross at point, you're not turning the ball over, and on the other end, you're aggressive and you want to create turnovers in transition if you're Pepperdine.
Smith trying to hit back-to-back threes, rebounded by Markinson. The foul was on Quintana, his first. 1-point lead early on for the Pepperdine Waves thanks to that Jody Smith three, his 17th of the year. You talked about him being a better shooter. He made 1 3 all of last year. He's already got 17, and we're sitting here in mid-January.
And you love how relentless he is. You know, Coach Romar came in, put belief in him, and gave him the green light because he's put in the work.
That's going to be quite a battle underneath. Edwards against Scott. And Cam Edwards just called for the foul right there.
You're so right about that. This is a key matchup because you need Cam Edwards to have a good game if you're Pepperdine. He's been absolutely nothing short of greatness since he's been in lineup. And Eli Scott has honestly emerged as one of the better players in this Loyola team, originally coming off the bench. But, you know, with that size and frame, he's able to create his own shot and just carve out openings in the paint.
You might be looking at Eli Scott now and go, boy, he looks a little more frail than he had during his freshman year, which was a huge year. He made the All-WCC freshman team, but he missed the first 7 games of this year with mono. He lost a ton of weight. He was really frail. A 3 out of the hands of Eric Cooper Jr., the Nevada transfer, is good.
Now, that's dangerous because if he gets going, it's going to be a long night for Loyola in any type of zone look they want to throw out. He's a streaky shooter, but when he's feeling, oh, Steve, oh, gosh.
Here's McClendon. He's a much better defensive player than he is offensively. Quintana can hit a 3. 6 to go on the shot clock. Inside it goes to Scott, and he shifts his defender Edwards for an easy look and a bucket.
Eli Scott bringing a much-needed offensive attack for Loyola. They really struggled with that, especially in conference play.
1-point game here, the 170th meeting between these two teams. Pepperdine leads the all-time series. Ross inside to Smith, kick corner. Edwards elevates for the 3, and a long rebound run down by Pepperdine.
And that's what's always tough about a zone is long rebounds. You got to get the long ones.
On the defensive board there, Markinson, who grabs 7 boards a game. The 7'3" junior from Sweden solidifies that board. Scott over Edwards off the window of the bank.
And what's nice for Eli Scott, he kind of plays that high-low with Markinson because Markinson's going to draw a double team. You got to respect the guy, 7'1", with soft hands, and Eli Scott comes right in between for the high-low.
Eli Scott has 5 of the first 9 for LMU. They're back out in front by a point.
Something tells me Eli Scott will never lack for confidence playing alongside the Ball brothers in LeVar, running things from afar.
Right. We got a couple of guys who played alongside the Ball brothers in this game as Edwards buries a 3. Oh, it's on. Here, we haven't even had our first media timeout yet, and already 20 combined points.
These two teams promised a good one. They got into it last game. That 15-point margin was a lot tighter than it sounded on paper.
Edwards has 5 of the 11 for Pepperdine. Cam's coming off a 22-point effort against BYU. And that ball out of bounds will take us to a break. Cam Edwards is in his junior season here. He's out of Etiwanda. His brother Kessler, also out of Etiwanda, is a good-looking freshman who I think we're going to see when we come back from the break. Waves up 2. Cam Edwards has 5 of the first 11 for the Pepperdine Waves. The 6'6" junior forward from Etiwanda, California, is 10 games due to injury in November and December. A couple of years ago, broke his jaw. It hasn't been one of the most aesthetically pleasing stays in Malibu, but boy, he's really figured it out, Ryan, over the last 2 games.
He has. And Steve, we talked with Coach Romar before the game, and he had all these plans coming into the season with that running offense through Cameron Edwards and, you know, pick and roll situations and ISOs. And he gets hurt, and he had to revamp everything. And since he's come back in the lineup, I think this game's to be rolling for Pepperdine. Coach Rimzo and the rest of the players just seem more at peace, you know. Now what was supposed to happen is happening.
We see Kessler Edwards, the younger brother of Cam Edwards, on the floor right now. And Cam will sit after logging some solid minutes, 6 minutes, but the Waves turn it over uncharacteristically for a 3rd time.
And that's what Coach Dunlap wants. That's why you switch those defenses up. You just do enough to confuse whatever ATO or whatever call Romar has in a timeout. So the chess match behind Dunlap and Romar.
On January 3rd in that meeting at Malibu, where the Waves won by 15, they limited the Lions to 38% shooting from the floor. And as we mentioned, they made 11 threes. Speaking of threes, Quintana gets around the screen, gets the pass, and buries it.
Excellent execution out of the timeout. Joe Quintana running a little single double action, and Bateman with the sweet assist.
That's the first made 3 of the game for the Lions, and a foul on the other end.
LMU has to score the basketball. So for them to be manufacturing points, Bateman getting involved, Scott, Marcuson, excellent sign for Loyola.
Jeffrey McClendon will come back in for LMU. And will spell Joe Quintana.
Some toughness there.
Foul is on Quintana. He picks up his 2nd. That's why he's got to go to the bench early. Trying to run down the inbound is Jody Smith, and he's got it. This is an interesting, much smaller group on the floor right now. Cam Edwards is in there again.
It's a bit of a 1-3-1 look, but look at switch to a 2-3.
And there's Paul firing off the 3, the freshman from Long Beach Poly High School.
Paul can play. He's a heady point guard, doesn't make too many mistakes, very aggressive with the ball. But when you got Kobe Ross, he's not going to have his shot. But once Kobe moves on, it's going to be Polk's team.
And one of the first signees for Lorenzo Romar when he got this job after the conclusion of last season. And Marty Wilson was let go. And we're going to have a blocking foul call. Looks like they're going to get Johnny Smith.
Excellent take right there from Jordan Bell. I can't say enough about that kid. He's got so much talent there. A future star for LMU. He's a big man that can play 4 or 5, but he's got soft hands and a real touch, and he's kind of tricky. He doesn't look that athletic, but he's very quick, and he's got a wingspan and soft. He's got all the tools for a great score, prolific score in this conference.
And on the drive, a block shot by Kessler Edwards. It's out of bounds. It's going to be Pepperdine basketball.
We'll call him Little Edward, little brother right there. Now allegedly, little brother's going to be better than big brother Cam. Yeah. And he has flashes, man. He's got the length and athleticism, and he makes some plays that just make you salivate as a coach.
He's 2 inches bigger than his big brother, but he doesn't have the skeletal girth here. That will come.
You see why this coaching staff is so excited about this.
10 to shoot, 8 minutes into this first half. Pepperdine with a 2-point lead. Drive by Cam Edwards. The left hand is in and out. He almost did, you're right. Rebounded by Bell.
And that's what you fear in the zone. If you don't get the ball inside and you just kind of move it around, you don't get any action, you fall in trouble.
Bateman turned it over on the run out. Edwards got his pocket picked, but they say there was contact by Zafir Williams. Kessler Edwards getting into the ball game, and the freshman rewarding his coach with a little defensive effort here on the block shot from behind on Damian Douglas. Waves out in front by 2. let's flash back almost a year ago for our moment of the game presented by Don Francisco's Coffee. High quality, great tasting coffee backed by 150 years of coffee roasting expertise. January 25th at Firestone Fieldhouse a year ago. That's Trey Burhow, who's since transferred to Northern Iowa, hitting off the missed three. I did that game. It never, ever happens, right? Where you go to the line, you got to miss the second and tip it out to get the three to win, and it happened in this series. That's how crazy this PCH Cup has been at times over the years.
This is a real beef. Like I know, like these teams, like this means something different. These guys get after it. Every time you see Pepperdine Loyola, I mean, this PCH rivalry it's the real deal.
Waves have the basketball. Waves have a 2-point lead, and they turn it over. Bateman ahead, and McClendon scores it.
Excellent sign for Loyola.
We're even, almost 9 minutes into the first half.
And this is a pace that favors Loyola. They're switching their defenses. Pepperdine seems just confused enough and not taking advantage of open opportunities.
Xavier Williams, the 6'6 sophomore from Long Beach Poly, had the rebound off the missed shot. Colby Ross will come in for the Waves at the break.
He ain't sitting too long. He looked at Romar, looked back at him and said, hey, come on, young fella, get in the game.
Zafir Williams inside to Bell, splits two defenders and scores with the left hand.
I tell you, that kid's going to be a star in this conference. It's such soft hands and touch around the rim for a big.
He's a 6'8 sophomore out of nearby Inglewood High School. And Williams trying to corral the rebound there with Jade Smith, and a foul, and we got some chippiness going in the early going.
I wouldn't be surprised if Johnny Smith was in there mixing things up. That's what he does. But this tempo and pace is favoring Loyola. Pepperdine's gotten open shots. They've gotten the looks they want. But the energy of Loyola just taking care of home has shown.
Our crew is Ruben Ramos, Coben Lopez, and Toby Doolittle. In all the years I've done games, I don't recognize any of the three names. But early on, they're going to set the rules right here and say we're not going to mess anything with anything. I think we have technicals here.
So excellent job here of the referees, because normally you maybe don't call it, but you can see the emotions, the feelings in there. And right now the play is over. Whistle's blown. Okay, fellas, let go of the ball. Now that may not be much, but as hard as these guys are playing, Steve, it could potentially end up being more. So you understand it. Excellent job from the referees. As a coach, as a player, you know, you fight it, you don't like it, but you know, you never want to see those situations escalate.
Man, they saddled, I think this is ticky-tack technical fouls on Smith and Williams.
Oh, it was very ticky-tack, but you want to set the tone, and that's what the referees did earlier.
Well, I didn't see much there, to be quite honest with you, but all right, so Williams has 2 personal fouls. 3 personal fouls now for Jody Smith. We're not even halfway home in the first half.
Well, that's a heartbreaker. Who's the conference player of the week?
Yeah.
Not too long ago.
James Bateman with a bucket.
Excellent sign. Bateman seeing the rim, facilitating. Loyola's taking the challenge defensively. And normally you don't see zones extend out this far, but you never know what you're going to get out of a download zone.
That was Bateman's first made field goal of the game. And a steal. We talked about how Jeffrey McClendon is such a good defender. Got the steal right there and then got fouled in the open court. This is going to be not a good foul.
So that great sign there. Bateman gets the rim, using that frame and finishing. If you're Loyola, you need that. And the one thing that's different, this zone will get aggressive. They'll get out and get after you. And Jeffrey McClendon is an elite athlete, able to, there's not so many guys that can extend your zone to half court and then get back to the nail and help right around that free throw line area, which is what the nail is. So McClendon showing his strengths for the team.
This should be an intentional foul. Our officiating crew is going to go over and review right now. You look at the WCC steal leaders, and Pepperdine gets after you defensively just like Gonzaga does. Well, both these teams do. They're 2 and 3 in the conference.
Steve, in the first match, Loyola was never comfortable defensively. They never set the tone. You know, their imprint is always on the defensive end. So I keep saying great sign, because that's their culture. That's Loyola basketball. That's taking care of home. And Pepperdine, they've gotten great looks, but they're just thrown off just enough.
This should be an intentional foul on Eric Cooper Jr. And again, the officials will go back now and will look, see if there's a clear path here. They're going to take a second look at this.
I'm pretty sure it's a clear path.
Yeah.
I don't know how long my referee career will last, but
that should be 2 shots in the ball for LMU.
It was a little closer, but I felt, you know, I'm a player, man. I always like to reward hard work, man. Hey, give it to who deserves it.
Well, anytime you wrap them up, I mean, the officials are looking right now at the right hand of Cooper, wrapping him up.
Well, what's tough in that situation as a player, if you don't grab him when the referee doesn't call it, he's jamming that on the other end. Crowd's going nuts, and you're getting subbed out the game. So you want to show the referee that you made a definite, a strong move to foul.
The officials want to talk to the 2. Okay, flagrant 1, unnecessary contact is what they're calling. The official comes over, and one of the other officials is going to talk to Dunlap and Romar. So a flagrant 1, 2 shots in the ball for LMU.
I didn't see that coming, Steve. I didn't see that one coming. Flagrant 1, we are calling this tight tonight. The referees have made it a point to control this game. You see the emotions, you see the atmosphere, the cheerleaders are in here, the fans are in here, the guys are fired up. It's a rivalry game, so they want to keep everything in check.
So McClendon at the free throw line here for 2, and he winds up missing both of them. So it turned out to be a good flagrant 1, did it not?
Ball don't lie.
No, because all it turned out to be was a turnover now.
Oh, McClendon better known for his defense. He's an elite defender. As I say, there's not too many guys who can extend the zone out and get back, and Dunlap would ask for the responsibilities from anybody else.
Again, I'd mentioned this is a crew I've not seen before, and I typically do between 30 and 40 games on the West Coast a year, and have been for the last 10 years. I don't recognize any of the 3 names. Not to say they're not high-quality officials. They certainly are, but...
Oh, they're a little tight right now for me.
Yeah.
A little tight for me.
I think of those 2 technicals. Knowing it's a rivalry game. Scott got it stripped by Edwards. Ball is loose. Bell and Edwards now. A little bit of pushing, a shot clock violation.
Is that a flagrant there too, or what's going on there, man? Who knows? Hey, these guys are gonna mix it up, okay? You gotta know this. Ball on the floor, player on the floor. Look at Cam Edwards getting after it. Jordan Bell just a little slow. He's got to be on the floor, but that's the experience of Cameron Edwards playing out.
Yep. That time they let him play. And Kessler could have got called for a kick, to be honest with you.
I was gonna lose it, man, if I saw another technical or flagrant.
They gave him a gimme on that one. That one looked more violent than the one on the other end. They got the double technical.
And the one thing you've got to do if you're Pepperdine is attack the zone. You got to get touches in the paint.
And there's a touch in the paint. It was Ross over the top to Edwards, and he couldn't finish.
And what you do is you stay out of foul trouble. You know, if they never truly attack the rim, they're trying to shooting touch shots, which are probably one of the tougher shots in basketball.
Travel by Bateman. Good defense by the Waves to get him to stop his momentum.
And that's what Pepperdine does. They extend out their defense. They pressure you, and they want to speed you up. And you saw the stats you read earlier. They're one of the top teams in the conference, and if not the NCAA, of getting turnovers. So they're going to get after you.
They lost 87-76 to BYU at home on Thursday. Ross inside, and a foul will be called as Kessler Edwards put it up.
That could have been some brother-to-brother action. Cam misses little brother on the backdoor cut. And Cameron Edwards is in a tough spot because, Steve, it's a blind catch as he turns. He's got to be aggressive to the rim, but if he sees a cutter, he's now the facilitator, so he becomes the point guard in the zone.
West Coast Conference action. Join the conversation using the hashtag WCCHoops. And for the latest news, scores, and more, follow WCC Hoops on Twitter. This is Cam Edwards, the junior from Etiwanda, California, the free throw line. And his younger brother Kessler will leave, giving way to Darnell Dunn, a senior from Kinston, North Carolina.
You tell me that Cameron Edwards doesn't understand the importance of this game. He's come with it, and there's just a different intensity in conference play and rivalry games, and he has met the challenge so far.
Just 19.1 miles separate the two campuses along PCH. Who knew it was such a violent rivalry?
Oh man, all that beach and grass and sand and blue skies are just driving these guys crazy.
Oh, great bounce pass inside. Quintana finishes. Bateman with a tremendous entry pass.
Quintana, a guy who can get it going. If you're LMU, you've scratched off all the buckets. Bateman to the hole, Quintana knocking down jumpers.
4 assists already for Bateman. Scout pulled the air ball right out of the air.
One thing Pepperdine had a lot of success with last game was getting to the foul line, attacking the rim, and this zone has thrown them off balance of sorts.
They'll get a little bigger when play is dead with Matisse Markinson coming in. Bateman is doubled on the high post. 9 to shoot. Quintana inside to Scott, and Scott too hard, and a foul. Wow, with only a second or 2 left on the shot clock.
And if you notice, you saw Jordan Bell crashing there. But LMU knows they have the size advantage. They know they've got to go after the basketball.
7:34 to go, first half of play. It's the Loyola Marymount Lions by 4 at home.
Control officer Giovanni Gaten is our salute of the game. Officer Gaten will work. He graduated from Range Cucamonga High School for continuing his education at California State University, San Bernardino. He graduated with a degree in business marketing. Giovanni has been with the California Highway Patrol for 1 year and 4 months and is currently an officer in the West Los Angeles office in Culver City and has been a great part of our CHP community outreach program. Join us in making Officer Gaten our service to our community.
The West Coast Conference Game of the Week brought to you in part by Geico, saving you money on car insurance. By Nike and by Don Francisco's. Great tasting coffee backed by 150 years of roasting expertise. Yeah, the PCH Cup has been heated in the early going. Steve Quiss, Ryan Hollins, Kirsten Watson with you. 4-point lead for this man's team. They started the year at 12-2. They've been 1-3 since. As you break down the numbers, had 2 very good wins at UNLV and over Georgetown in the early going.
They just struggled to score, and they have not defended. Matthias hadn't gotten going, and they're just a team that had been finding their way since that hot start. But tonight, everything looks like it's a go. You know, the ball's moving around. They're taking their time, playing their pace. They're defending, switching things up, and they've been able to manufacture offense.
Jordan Bell had the foul before he went to the break. It's his second, so he joins Zafir Williams and Joe Quintana with 2 personal fouls apiece. The Waves have Jade Smith on their bench because he has 3 personals. He's only going to allow 9 minutes in this first half. And a foul as Eli Scott went for the long offensive rebound.
And a real long for Pepperdine is offensive rebounding. And even though that was a long one, it falls on the guards. But this is a team that has to rebound as a unit. There's no one guy on the Pepperdine Wave squad that's going to go grab, 10 or 12 rebounds a game to where you can leak out. This is going to be a group effort every single possession for the Waves.
That was the second on Ross, by the way. The W.TV, your home for West Coast Conference action, featuring over 60 live WCC men's basketball games. Visit the W.TV from your browser, smartphone, tablet, or connected TV to watch live out-of-market games for free. The W.TV, all the action anytime, anywhere. Ross Ross dribbling through traffic, and he got his pocket picked by McClendon again with another steal. Scott, and an offensive foul on Eli Scott. That's an easy one.
Oh, yeah. Great job from Pope. Sacrificing your body. I think he might have been giving up 60 to 70 pounds in that collision. This is a Mack truck coming down the lane. So tough job, man. That's a Long Beach Poly kid right there. They're tough as nails. So you expect that from a Poly kid.
Taking a great charge. He was a teammate of Zafir Williams at Long Beach Poly, Daryl Pope Jr. We got a couple of teammates playing. Of course, Andre Ball and Eli Scott together with the other Ball brothers at Chino Hills. And McClendon's got another pick. My goodness.
He's having a field day.
And a turnover. Pulled back the other way. Pulled. And had it disrupted by McClendon again at the rim. Is there anybody defending right now in the county of LA better than Jeffrey McClendon, the senior from Pasadena?
That's what he does, you know, and McClendon has put his stamp on the game. Defensively, he is an impact in this zone. I mean, he's covered so much ground.
He's got 4 steals already, Ryan, and a foul is
He's
called.
running around like a free safety or middle linebacker, man. Looks like Ed Reed back there, man. Gosh.
Remember, we told you LMU's third with a little over 7 steals a game in the WCC. And this kid has 4 of their 5 so far in McClendon.
Well, what this zone has done, even more importantly, to Pepperdine, you take Kobe Ross out the game, he's been ineffective. He's struggling. He wants to get in the lane and probe, and he's moving too slow. And, you know, McClendon's coming behind him, picking his pocket. So, great job of taking Kobe Ross, one of the stars of Pepperdine, out the game.
By the way, Eli Scott got called for his second personal foul. Remember, he had the offensive foul on the other end not too long ago. So he's in foul trouble now. Speaking of fouls, on the drive, Colby make it Daryl Pope Jr. is fouled. This is interesting because Mike Dunlap's teams in the past have had trouble with fouls and committing fouls and trying to defend without fouling.
Well, that's where the zone helps, because you end up forcing long shots, you know, tough contested twos if played the right way, and Pepperdine hasn't found a way to attack it.
First one is made there by James Bateman. Watch live games, get score, stats, news, and more. Download the free West Coast Conference app today from iTunes or Google Play. The brand new WCC Sports app, now available for Apple and Android tablets and smartphones.
Steve, if you're Coach Dunlap, you got to love this. Bateman getting downhill. I think that had been the most open look that he had seen against this Pepperdine Waves defense in the 2 games. So, excellent job.
He's got 4 points, but only 1 field goal. And a 3 out of the hands of the Nevada transfer, Eric Cooper Jr.
That's a problem for your zone.
Exactly.
Eric Cooper, that's a problem.
They've got 5 threes in this game against the zone. Remember, they made 11 in that win 16 days ago against the Lions in Malibu.
Oh.
And a turnover. Herman trying to feed the big inside Marcusson. Ross on the run out, got it poked away. And it's going to be LMU ball. They're going to say turnover on Ross.
Kobe Ross so intelligent that he felt like he was going to draw a foul there, and the foul wasn't called. So if you're Kobe Ross right now, you got to get to just playing basketball. Don't outthink the game and just go out and execute.
He's got 3 turnovers. Remember, the first game, he had 12 assists against LMU.
Well, watch this kid. Every time he makes a mistake, he comes back and makes a better play on the other end. So we'll watch Kobe Ross right now. He's more upset than anybody.
McClendon feeds Peter Herman, and Herman muscles it up. Marcusson almost had the offensive rebound.
Herman's got to go for the jam right there.
Pull. Boy, he's a little guy, but he can go. There's a foul on Herman. He thought he got all ball.
You couldn't tell him that, man. Pope thought he was 6'8" right there, the way he attacked the rim.
I mean, look at him. He looks so small out there, but boy, he can play. They list him at 5'9". He's a freshman.
I tell you, those Long Beach Poly kids, man, there's a lot of heart, there's a lot of pride out of that city and school, and Coach Romar knows what he's getting.
He looks more like a jackrabbit quarterback. They always had a great football team as well.
Oh, yeah, he looks like, and track team. He looks like he can run. I remember the great Poly teams of the past.
And one of the signees, one of the first signees for Lorenzo Romar when he got the job after leaving Sean Miller's staff at Arizona, where he was an assistant.
Uncharacteristic miss, showing his age right there.
Lorenzo Romar also got 2 Oregon transfers coming. Quintana with a 3.
That's what Quintana does. He can fill it up.
6-point lead for Loyola Marymount.
Student section in there. Loyola can fill it, man.
Biggest lead of the game for either side. Waves have lost 3 in a row here in this building. Kessler Edwards called for travel.
And Steve, as you bring that up, a sign of a great rivalry that both teams take care of home. No matter what, I mean, Loyola was 12-2 at the time. There was no way Pepperdine was beating them, but they're taking care of business. I mean, great rivalry there.
Waves can't win on this floor. The Lions can't win in Malibu. And even last year, you had to have that tip-out 3 to lose the game. Somehow the Waves got it done at Firestone Fieldhouse a year ago. Inside of 5 minutes to go, Bateman cross court to McClendon, who's played terrific. Bateman a deep 3 with 6 to go on the shot clock. Rebounded by Cam Edwards.
Good shot from Bateman. I thought it came in rhythm, wasn't forcing it. Very makeable shot for Bateman.
Polk in the corner, a 3 from the wing, no good out of the hands of Cooper. And I think they're going to saddle a foul on Matisse Markinson.
LMU has brought the physicality to the game. Markinson is comfortable instead of running out and chasing guys in the pick and roll. He just owned the paint, staying out of foul trouble.
No foul, they just said it was off of him. Quick inbound to Kessler Edwards, count it. Then a chance at a 3-point play at the charity stripe.
I mean, gosh, when your little brother's 2 and 3 inches taller than you, man, you gotta love it. He's coming along, and Kessler now better known for his defense, soft touch, not as assertive as big brother Cam, but I mean, excellent shot. That's what the coaches said. I mean, it's a tough shot. Yeah. 6 to 8 feet out, and 1 hit on the wrist, and he knocks it down.
He completes the 3-point play, but now Jeffrey McClendon has to go to the bench with 2 personal fouls. So you got 4 Lions with 2 fouls apiece.
You got to watch that because they really dictated pace with their physicality.
Bateman misses. Markinson looking for his 6th rebound.
See Coach Romar loving it, getting up off the bench, clapping, getting there, getting out and rebounding. My man Joe Quintana getting it done, flying out. LMU up 27-24.
West Coast Vegas is going to be here before you know it in the tournament. The UCU University Credit Union West Coast Conference Men's and Women's Basketball Championships return to Orleans Arena in Las Vegas, March the 7th through the 12th. Visit WCCSports.com for complete event and ticket information. Well, Loyola Marymount's made just one of their last 7 field goals, and yet they have a 3-point advantage here. But a lot of guys with 2 fouls apiece, so that's of concern.
So, Steve, similar to the first game, Pepperdine was up. Loyola played horrible, but it was a 2 or 3 point game at halftime. And that's just the way these two teams are. You know, no matter what the energy, what the stat sheet says, they are going to be, just closely knit as you can imagine.
Stat sheet right now says 5 LMU players with 2 fouls apiece. Edwards stepped into the 2. His brother Kessler rebounded it. And they have it out to Ross with a fresh 30-second shot clock. Inside to Kessler, and it got disrupted at the rim. My goodness, what a block by Damian
Welcome
Douglas.
to the West Coast Conference, young fella.
He's a freshman, so I'm glad you said welcome. 6'7" freshman from Hanford, California. Rebound tipped out. Kessler Edwards has it. And we haven't seen Andre Ball yet. Kessler Edwards buries the 3 wing left, and that ties the ball game at 27.
You love the freshman ignorance, gets his shot beat off the backboard, comes back and hits a 3. Fearless.
I love that. F.I., freshman ignorance.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to use that one.
I remember, I had no idea what was. I'm just playing basketball. Bateman counted. Huge bucket for Bateman. Let the game come to him, Steve. I love this. He's not forcing tempo, and when the opportunities are there, he's taking them, and when he's getting into the paint, he's finishing. You know, not forcing it, playing within himself. Excellent game right now from James Bateman. And if you're Coach Dunlap, you need this. He's got to score. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. He's got to score for this team to have success. Other than that, they struggle without him, and he has shown up tonight.
Cooper the foul, his second, team foul number 9. Bateman makes just his second made field goal of this first half.
And with the pressure of Pepperdine, they are thin. They are thin inside, brother. So you attack the paint, you're going to get what you want. And Bateman knows it.
Bateman is normally an 83% free throw shooter. He made 109 free throws before this game.
So Coach Romar going to a 2-man front with Ross and Polk.
And Cooper with a deep 2.
That's what you don't want in the zone is a quick shot.
Bateman, they outlet there to McClendon. He can't finish.
Yeah, that's not what McClendon is known for. Not the offense.
And an offensive foul.
Was that McClendon again?
Yes. Taking charges and steals.
So get this right. Kids at home, if you're paying attention, you want to play Division I basketball. This guy misses a layup on one end, goes out, streaks. He can hang his head after this. He's out of bounds. Look at him. He's on his horse, sprinting back into the play, comes back, hands up, couldn't teach any better, and takes the charge. Winning basketball plays. I got chills. I'm excited, man. That's big time from this kid.
Well, LMU line fans are excited now because Colby Ross, one of the best point guards in the conference, just got saddled with his 3rd foul. He'll go to the bench for the remaining 2:06.
Game-changing play.
Open for a 3 wing left. Damian Douglas in and out. Rebounded by Kessler Edwards.
Damian Douglas going to be a fine player. Great frame. Very skilled. More of a defender now.
Cam Edwards took an extra step for a turnover.
And that's what happens. Now you got your leader, Colby Ross, on the bench. And somehow you're going to have to calm down the Pepperdine waves. And now you're relying on a freshman and to see if he can do it.
How about this? 11 turnovers for the Waves. Again, they're plus 4.3 to lead the conference. 18th nationally. They've only had one team this year that has committed fewer turnovers in a game than them. Not tracking well here. Douglas gets a second chance, and he'll get an opportunity at the free throw line.
Great drive from Douglas. Got an excellent frame. Excellent frame. He's going to be a player in this league. But when you look at the scoreboard, we would tell you, if we were blind, you'd tell me Loyola's up like 10 or 15 points. And if you're Coach Romar and company, you say, guys, we're only down by 2. We played horrible. We've gotten all the shots we wanted. We turned the ball over, which is uncharacteristic of us. And we're only down 2.
Coming up, we'll have the halftime report brought to you by Geico. One 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance. WCC's Sammy O'Brien sits down with James Bateman. He did it earlier this week. We'll have highlight stats and all that for you coming up at half. Well, it's a 3-point game for LMU. Douglas had played well of late. He had 8.6 boards against the Zags. Freshman from Hanford averaging 7 points a game.
Douglas, man, he's going to be a heck of a player.
I think Lorenzo Romar, we're talking before the ball game, he was a little worried about Douglas.
Oh, no. He had a nice little game last night. Great kill.
Foul underneath on the shot attempt by Cam Edwards.
And what you love about Cam Edwards is he's a what do you want type of player. What you need, you want it, I got it. You need a three, I got a three for you. You need it at the rim, I'm attacking the rim. You're in the zone, I'll be the zone buster. What do I mean by zone buster? He's going to find the gaps of the zone, much like a wide receiver. Sit down, catch the ball, and turn and make a play.
Third team foul on Zafir Williams. Boy, the fouls are really starting to mount for LMU. 13 of them here in the first half.
Foul trouble is going to lean towards Loyola's favor. Why do I say that? Loyola is a team that's going to go 10-11 deep and comfortably. You know, they really, other than Bateman, no one has really just made a name. Bateman and Joe Quintana, I might say. You don't have that same depth with Pepperdine. You don't have another Kobe Ross. You don't have another Cameron Edwards. So if these fouls play out, this is going to lean towards Loyola.
And that's really good. A good point. You perused the box score for Pepperdine the last few games, and Lorenzo Romar has really just settled in on an 8-man rotation. So you get to those 9th and 10th guys, and that means they haven't played in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
Then you try and come into this heated rivalry, passing to Marcuson, and he got fouled on a second chance opportunity.
And that's what you do. You're patient, you probe, which means you look at all your options, and you drop it into the big fella. You know, at this point in Matias's career, you're not just going to come down, dropping the ball, and he impose his will. But if you get him the ball in the right position, he's going to have a lot of success. The kid scores and gets fouled every time.
That's the second on Cam Edwards. Well, the other night, Pepperdine, they lost to BYU at home 87-76. And they allowed BYU to go to the free throw line 34 times. Well, both teams went 34 times. You saw the ones that TJ Haas went, what, 22 times, for goodness sake?
And Steve, you're Coach Romo, you got to consider getting Cameron Edwards out of the game. He can't get three. So you can't have Cameron Edwards and Kobe Ross with 3 fouls.
Cam already has 3. Kessler might have 3 when it's all said and done. That's Darnell Dunn, averaging almost 10 points a game, senior from Kinston, North Carolina. Bateman trying to counter.
Oh my goodness, look at Polk trying to box out Markinson. You knew who was winning that battle.
Final 30 seconds of this first half. The difference between the shot clock and the game clock is about 4 seconds.
Look at Polk on the back line. I think he's giving up at least over a foot to Matias Markinson.
Bateman wants to bring this down as close as he can. Swings it left to McClendon. Nobody wants to do anything with all fouls, for goodness sake. Bateman to Bell. 3. Nope, and a shot clock violation. So 4 seconds exactly to go. Pepperdine will have a shot to fire off a 3 or a 2 and take the lead here.
Polk's got the type of speed to get this to the rim if he can get it. Or Cameron Edwards trying to sneak on the back line. If you see him, your Coach Romar, you're either trying to call this timeout to get your guards on the run, or you pitch it ahead, and it's a quick either turn and attack, or you catch the ball and you tip it to one of your playmakers and see if you can't get something. But Steve, you know, we've seen this many a time, right? 4 seconds is more than enough time.
Yeah, without question. But you can get a good look in 4 seconds. Yeah, no doubt.
Catch and come off a little screen or catch and curl, and in a 1-point game right now. Now imagine Pepperdine converts this. You go in leading into the half, and you I don't want to say you played horrible, but Loyola's done whatever they wanted, you know. And if you drew up a Coach Dunlap game, the defense is imposing. Bateman's gotten to the rim. Matias Markins scored. Quintana knocks down 3s. Eli Scott has an offensive rebound and got to the rim. You couldn't ask for more.
All right, it is the youngster Andre Ball, the freshman from Chino Hills, to inbound it. Throws it in quickly to Polk. Polk racing past Bateman, throws it out. For Edwards, and it got blocked at the rim by Jordan Bell.
Gosh.
Wow, no call. All the times they swallowed the whistle there.
Only Lorenzo Robar draws up a backdoor lob with 4 seconds on the clock. So you're going to catch Polk on the catch and run. He's probably the fastest guy in the gym. Cam Edwards goes backdoor for the jam, and Jordan Bell meets him upstairs.
That's fantastic.
You got to help me out, Steve. What am I watching here? What's going on?
3 big blocks for LMU here in the first half.
Steve, I was excited coming into this game. I mean, goodness, it's lived up to expectations. It did. I mean, I get it. This isn't a 60-point half, but the intensity, the effort, the way these guys are getting after it. Oh, my God.
This is one of the more memorable PCH Cups in a while. We're waiting on Kirsten Watson here. Is getting Mike Dunlap to come on back to talk to her.
Coach Dunlap's fired up, man.
Yeah, he went right to the locker room.
Game, man. Coach Dunlap is in it. He knows what's at stake, and he knows his team is going to have a huge second half, because if Pepperdine gets comfortable, they could run away with the lead. You don't want this thing to turn.
I'm not sure if Mike Dunlap's going to come out of the locker room. He's not coming.
Oh, no, man. It's game time, baby.
All right, we're back with all the halftime festivities right after this. It's been a tremendous first half. LMU has won 3 straight in this series in their building over the Pepperdine Waves as a 1-point lead. Welcome back to Southern California. It's halftime between the Pepperdine Waves and the LMU Lions here in the PCH Cup. You'll want to stay tuned. We've got stats and highlights coming up for you in a bit. And when we come back, the WCC's Sammy O'Brien sat down with LMU point guard James Bateman earlier this week in a one-on-one interview. That's coming up right after the break. Welcome back to Southern California. It's halftime between the Pepperdine Waves and the LMU Lions here in the PCH Cup. You'll want to stay tuned. We've got stats and highlights coming up for you in a bit. And when we come back, the WCC's Sammy O'Brien sat down with LMU point guard James Bateman earlier this week in a one-on-one interview. That's coming up right after the break. Welcome back. It's halftime between the Pepperdine Waves and the LMU Lions here in beautiful Southern California. Earlier this week, Sammy O'Brien got a chance to catch up with LMU's James Bateman.
It was selected to the NCAA Division I West Region 13. Also returning are all WCC second team members.
You're the oldest of 9 siblings. Tell me, what was it like growing up in that household?
You got a big fan support, you know, having a big family. So I call it home pretty much every day just to speak to each separate sibling. Got the opportunity to be a role model and set the bar high. So right now, in the summer, I'll be graduating with my bachelor's degree, and that's a first in my family. So hopefully it just influenced them to, you know, do something very positive with their life.
You had to work in a chocolate factory for a couple summers of your life as an internship that you got through your dad. Take me through that experience, how that came about, and what you ended up learning from that.
It was his idea to get the internship at his job because he was like, I want you to see what working a 9-to-5 job really feels like. You know, you don't want this, you want to achieve better, and it did work.
Your first school that you go to being North Dakota State College of Science. Did they have a nickname? Because that's a mouthful.
We call it Wahpeton. It's in Wahpeton, North Dakota. So at first I was going through high school. I mean, I was playing well, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to easily go to Division I because of my skill level. But then when school started to overlook me, it started to make me get a different perspective on life and how hard I had to work to really achieve what I wanted to achieve out of this game.
Transferring to LMU, how, why, when did you hear of LMU?
Pretty much towards the end of my career there, I felt wanted here. Once we had that connection, then I'm like the city of LA. I mean.
What is something that you learned about the team, about yourself, first year here at LMU?
Well, I learned no matter win or lose, we was gonna be a family. But one thing we took was how we closed out the year. Played Gonzaga real tight to the end. We knew the type of energy we had towards the end of the year, and we wanted that feeling again.
Were you surprised at all about the start that you guys had?
Not really surprised, I would say, but I would say that we worked for it, we earned that.
With all the success that the Lions have had this year, what would be the ultimate end game for you and how this senior year plays out for you?
Well, the ultimate end game is winning the conference tournament. Everybody wants a shot to play in the national NCAA tournament. So besides basketball, because it's bigger than basketball, I mean, getting a degree is going to be great.
Back in Los Angeles, West Coast Conference Game of the Week, the PCH Cup. Loyola Marymount at home, a point better than the Pepperdine Waves. That actually makes us look like we're at the Maui Invitational rather than in Southern California. Wow, that blue water right there over at Marina Del Rey. Alongside Ryan Hollins, I'm Steve Quist. Kirsten will be with us here shortly. Let's talk about that first half. A lot of fouls called, but we did, when there was some not fouls being called, we had a little bit of a fluid offensive game going. Talk about Cam Edwards and his 8 first half points.
Cam Edwards was excellent. He did everything he could to keep his team in the game. He played the role of zone buster, so he caught right in between that zone, turned aggressively, and made plays. Not just plays, but much needed plays. Stepping out, hitting the opportunistic three-pointer, but he was a solid, shining spot for the team.
James Bateman, yeah, he only has 2 points.
James Bateman played the excellent first half. He got his teammates involved, moved the ball around the horn, and opportunistically attacked the rim when he saw the openings there. So if he can continue to attack, he's going to have to score more in the second half. LMU has an excellent chance to be successful.
Remember the first time around, the Waves made 11 threes 16 days ago in Malibu to win that game by 15 points. They made 6 so far. Anything else stand out? Maybe points in the paint?
Well, if you're LMU, you got to get points in the paint. And if you're the Waves, you got to get out in transition. You have to knock down threes. That's going to be the key against this zone. Otherwise, LMU's going to pack it in to have success. Pepperdine
gave up 42 points in the paint to BYU on Thursday night. The Lions only have 2 so far over the first 20 minutes. Gorgeous day in Southern California. LMU day. Back to Gersten Pavilion for the start of the second half right after this.
By 1 at the half. What did you tell your team at this half that you want to see more in the second?
We have to take care of the ball. They're doing a good job in their zone. They're long, but we have to do a better job of taking care of the ball.
Thanks, Coach. By 1 at the half. By 1 at the half. What did you tell your team at this half that you want to see more in the second?
We have to take.
By 1 at the half. What did you tell your team at this half that you want to see more in the second?
We have to take care of the ball. They're doing a good job in their zone. They're long, but we have to do a better job of taking care of the ball.
Thanks, Coach.
Before we start the second half, let's check in with Kirsten Watson, who's with Lorenzo Romar.
By 1 at the half. What did you tell your team at this half that you want to see more in the second?
We have to take care of the ball. They're doing a good job in their zone. They're long, but we have to do a better job of taking care of the ball.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, Kirsten. Again, they started a little bit more earlier than we thought, and LMU with an open bucket out of the hands of Eli Scott to start the proceedings. And an answer on the other end, a 3. Eric Cooper Jr., that's the 7th 3 of the game for Pepperdine.
Eric Cooper Jr., I said, excellent sign for Pepperdine, but what's tough is when you trade 2s for 3s. Obviously, those 3s are going to win out, but if you can continue to get the ball inside for LMU, that's dangerous for Pepperdine.
And they get it inside there. Scott into McClendon, but McClendon couldn't get it to go down. Johnny Smith got picked. Man, McClendon had 5 steals in the first half, and McClendon too hard. Oh, man.
And sacrificing defense for some offense, but this kid's, his effort is second to none.
Kessler Edwards misses the 3, and Quintana saves it from going out of bounds off of the foot of Johnny Smith.
I got to go back to that McClendon possession because after he missed the layup, he runs back, gets in the play, and gets it. He's been all over. It's unreal. You got to watch this back on film. Oh, gosh.
All right, so the Lions have it, even at 33, opening 2 minutes of this second half. Really a must-win for both teams if they want to stay in the WCC race.
For LMU, you want the ball inside right here.
Yep, because the 2 teams are 7th and 8th place. As Markinson gets the bucket.
Great sign, Bateman and Markinson. Bateman getting in the lane. Colby Ross. Mark my words, he will be a lot better in the second half, but he knows he fooled me once. Shame on you. Fooled me twice. Shame on me, right?
Yep.
And he caught McClendon coming behind him and draws the foul. But watch McClendon. Misses the layup. So common for a guy to hang his head, and then you see him race back on the under the floor and then gets a turnover. So, I mean, McClendon, he's done that at least 4 or 5 times tonight. Game-winning plays.
They have McClendon officially for 6 steals in the game.
I think Coach Romar could have just called up McClendon at halftime saying, we got to take care of the ball. We got to stay away from McClendon is what we got to do.
McClendon almost lost it off his foot.
McClendon may be leading the league in turnovers, the ones he's given up and the one he's taken away. McClendon giveth and McClendon taketh.
Oh, tie up going Pepperdine's way.
Oh, man.
Hey, we need to address all the fouls, though. That, you know, for Pepperdine, they had 3 guys with 3 or more fouls in the first half. Ross, Smith, and Cooper. 3 of your starters. Edwards, Cam, that is, with 2. And then for LMU, 5 guys with 2 or more fouls. Zafir Williams in the worst trouble with 3. He's a bench guy.
No, great. I mean, great call. You've got to watch that because that definitely favors LMU. And if you're Pepperdine, that can't be Ross or Edwards. Big brother Edwards, that is, Cam, get in foul trouble.
Again, a big game for the 7th and 8th place teams in a 10-team WCC. Now with the shortened 16-game schedule, not a lot of room for error.
God.
Cam Edwards to a streaking Cooper for the bucket.
Beautiful. Woo. Woo. That's chemistry. You don't draw that up on a piece of paper. That's chemistry.
We've been tied 6 times already. We've had 6 lead changes.
Coach Romar going to his own, giving a taste of his own medicine back to Coach Dunlap, trying to stay out of foul trouble.
Eli Scott turned it over. He had 18 points against the Waves on January 3rd, struggling. Big time jam. Cam Edwards from Johnny Smith.
Johnny Smith had some foul trouble early. And one thing, you got to be mature enough to adapt to the referees. These referees are calling tight.
Markinson with it on because he threw Super to the court. Tied at 37 again.
All these fans are getting their money for it. Those watching at home with this on TV, those at the game, Johnny Smith with the, might be feeling himself right there.
That was not a good shot for the sophomore from Oakland, California.
You ball fake, you hit me off and shoot the 3. You better knock it down, man. Unless you're there to step Clay Thompson.
He had 15 last time against LMU, so he's feeling like maybe a little incompetence.
Oh, he's always
Markinson tries to keep it alive on the offensive play. Does so, and gets the bucket.
Big fella's waking up. Dangerous for Pepperdine. There's no answer in the paint if he gets going.
Big fella has 8 rebounds. 3 good out of the hands of Johnny Smith.
I see you, Johnny.
Johnny had 10 points, 9 boards, 4 assists against BYU in 25 minutes. Averages almost 10 points a game. Does his best work as a rebounder, almost 6.5 a game. That's the 8th best mark in the league.
Watch that play that LMU just ran. You saw Eli Smith dive, and Joe popping out. But check this out right here. Dropping off with the jam, big slam. LMU down 1. Waves up, 39-40. Woo!
Thursday, January 31st at 7:30 against Pacific. This is our no free game. Engage in the basketball. We give away 7 stalls fans with your first second women's team in the second men's basketball game. For picture tickets to the Lions have contact politics or call through text to the 82466.
So Ryan, if you look at the bottom of your screen, I mean, coaches love this, don't they? Assist to field goals.
It's called sharing the sugar, baby. When you share the sugar, good things happen. You get the ball moving around the horn, and everybody's ready to play. You know, you cut a little harder, you run a little faster when you get the ball. That's how we drew it up in practice, right?
All right. 40 to 39, Pepperdine.
The student section's getting into
it's a good little crowd. Great crowd for this matchup on a Saturday afternoon and gorgeous day in LA, 70 degrees. Zephyr Williams misses. Cam Edwards is another board.
Now you actually see Pepperdine at full strength. They haven't had their guys on the floor for the whole first half.
Cam Edwards straight away, 3 is good. 13 for Cam Edwards.
And that's tough. He sees Matthias Markinson close it out, and no, he doesn't have a chance.
Remember, 45 points in his last 2 games. You can tack on another 13. So you're talking 58 points in 2.5 games. Williams, the bucket. Great assist inside by Damian Douglas.
Nice touch from Zephyr.
43-41. Edwards will try it again on a contested 3. No. Williams had the rebound.
LMU dodges a bullet right there. Coach Romar going to the zone. Not that he wants to take his pressure away, but he can't afford to get in foul trouble. You know, Johnny, Cam, those guys are too valuable to this squad.
Again, he had 3 guys with 3 personals in the opening 20 minutes of this game that Lorenzo welcomed. Smith, Cooper, and...
Oh, beautiful. Oh, trick daddy. They ain't tricking if you got it, Zephyr.
Quintana came away with a rebound. 6 minutes in.
And that's up your LMU. You're going to hit the big fella, hit one of the bigs, and then you're going to see a dive or a cut for a little high-low look.
Douglas elevates in the corner for a through.
Not known as a shooter, but the kid's been working at it and a lot of potential for years to come. Look out for Douglas.
First made field goal in the game for the freshman from Hanford, California, up in the Central Valley.
And that's what Kobe Ross was ripping over earlier. And he didn't complain, but we know he felt it. He got fouled, and if you don't call it, it ends up being a turnover. But you like Douglas, and not known for his shooting, but running the baseline, getting his Kyle Korver, his Steph Curry on, okay? Who's that in the corners? Clay Thomas, not Jermaine Douglas, man.
That's only their 3rd made 3 of the basketball game. Their first of the second half. Edwards inside splits two defenders with a left hand. Cam Edwards has 15 now.
Somebody tell Cam Edwards he's not 7 feet tall. Golly, go ahead, boy. I see you.
Quintana.
LMU can get. You know, they've struggled to score. That's been some of their roles in the past, but they're comfortable. Watch them move the ball.
Whistle and a foul away from the ball. We're going to get Cam Edwards here.
Well, if you hear anything from Coach Dunlap in practice, it's cut with a purpose, screen with a purpose. Go find a body. And if you don't do that, you won't be successful. Cam Edwards taking care of business, attacking the big fella inside.
That's the third foul on Cam Edwards. Second team foul on Pepperdine in the second half. Waves have a 1-point lead. They haven't won here in 3 years. Bateman.
It's a rivalry. That's great fans.
2 to shoot. Quintana the catch and shoot. Is gone.
Sweet shot, right? I don't have much to say. That's a sweet stroke right there from Quintana.
And on the other end, Cam Edwards with 2 more to give him 17.
Grown man moves. Okay, grown man. Ain't another player on this floor making that move.
Tied one more time. Nobody wants to give an inch. Again, the 7th place team against the 8th place team in the WCC.
We're definitely seeing more offense from the first time these teams met. But oh, this is fun basketball.
Bateman misses. Rebounded by Cooper. Get into the hands of Ross, who's been fairly quiet, was plagued by 3 personals in the first half.
What you miss without Ross on the floor, he just settles everybody down. He's going to make sure everybody's in the right spot. Every time he catches the ball, his eyes are up surveying the floor. Kids at home, eyes up when you catch the ball and dribble.
He has one shot and done.
You know,
Foul.
Maybe I'm wrong, but was this a flagrant? You know, obviously he couldn't make a play on the call. Darnell Dunn gets the ball going up. He's going to slam it home if he doesn't get fouled. I don't mind it. My man Quintana coming out from way downtown. Bang! Tie game. LMU waves. Stalemate.
The West Coast Conference Game of the Week brought to you in part by University Credit Union. Bank with your brain. Visit us at ucu.org. And by the W.TV. All the action, anytime, anywhere. Well, what a day to start a Saturday in the West Coast Conference. We've had a PCH Cup rivalry game where we've been tied 8 times, and we've had 12 lead changes now. And it is 47-47 with 11:40 to go. between the 7th place team in the WCC and the 8th place team. And boy, they both really need this win to stay in the conversation of finishing in the top half of the conference.
Oh, you're holding on for dear life. You know, you couldn't ask for more. This is what conference play is about.
Quintana has the basketball.
And that's what's dangerous. Dunlap runs a man look or zone look. You never know what the look is going to be, but now Coach Romar confused. Blew up his out-of-bounds play.
Quintana with his 27th steal of the season.
And you know what's funny? If you're Coach Romar, you almost give your team 2 plays, one for man, one for zone.
Yeah, I'm not sure they were trying to get the ball inside to Bateman cutting from Quintana, but he was right there. Thought they wanted to get that to the high post. It skipped past. Bateman got a nice look at a bucket.
Great job for LMU. You got to keep going in the paint. You know, Pepperdine's small. They don't have the size.
The 2 point guards have been outstanding. They have 7 assists each. Speaking of assists, that's Cooper that time inside to Darnell Dunn.
Meet me upstairs, Scott. Meet me upstairs, Eli. That's what you want to do against a zone. You know, you hit the high post, cut, and it's a backdoor. Now you got to pick your poison if you're the middleman in the zone.
Might come down to who has the last possession of the basketball. Scott muscling himself inside. He's got 11.
Scott knew after giving up that bucket, he wasn't passing that one.
He missed the first 7 games of the year with mono. Lost a lot of weight. He's trying to build his stamina and his weight back up.
Kobe Ross has to be ready to shoot that basketball. He can't turn down the first open look. He's got to be locked and ready.
He's missed both his field goal attempts. That one did not even hit the rim. He's hearing it from the fans behind him.
He's got to play better.
He does have 7 assists, though. And Eli Scott underneath against Cam Edwards.
LMU just grinding out, going on a bit of a run right here.
That's the Inland Empire against one another. Cooper with another big 3.
Oh, game-changing. One word, game-changing.
They lead the WCC with 9 threes a game. That's their 10th right there.
Just give him the ball in the next half.
Quintana will score it easily. Breakdown on the defensive end for the Wave.
Quintana, a guy who can fill it up, not just from the outside, but going in an array of ways. Intelligent ball player.
Timeout on the floor. We break. Lions by 3 here in LA. Eli Scott only played 9 minutes in the first half because of foul trouble, the fewest minutes logged of any starter for LMU, but he's having a big second half. He's got 13 points now here in the ballgame.
He's been excellent tonight, you know, in limited minutes, and he knows once he drives to the hole, he's got those wide shoulders. There's nobody on the Pepperdine side that's going to be able to stop him. And you see him, he's just using his patience, his touch around the rim, and he's been excellent tonight.
He's 3 for 3 shooting in the second half. On the inbound, quick three, Cooper, no. And Markison has the defensive rebound.
LMU dodged a bullet right there. Cooper's been hot.
That was for an opportunity to tie. Quintana over the top to Markison.
Beautiful pass from Quintana. He's the best offensive weapon that Coach Dunlap has. You got to respect him in the screen and roll because he's so dynamic scoring.
Lead is up to 5 for LMU. Their biggest tonight has been 6. That's been the biggest either side. And Quintana with a reach-in foul on Ross.
Quintana's starting to feel it. Similar situation, but the roles have flipped. You know, Pepperdine was tight and feeling it at home, and now LMU starting to get the momentum. You got to guard Quintana, respect him, and now he's patient with a little look off to the big fella. Matias with the showdown.
He's a rebound away from a double-double. He's got 11 points, 9 rebounds. Kessler Edwards, the freshman, misses the 3. On the offensive glass, Dunn has it, and he threw an elbow. Oh, they're going to get the LMU player. I thought they're going to get McClendon. I thought that was offensive.
Tough play from Dunn, going up amongst the trees. Somehow Jeffrey McClendon has found himself in every single play. Dunn going up big. Good call right there with the flop. Hey man, this is a conference play. All right, this West Coast Conference is a man's league.
4th on McClendon.
Senior Darnell Dunn, their business.
Team foul 5 on LMU. Ross inbounds to Kessler Edwards.
Ooh.
And he's able to keep it in the front court.
Nice to have a 6'11" wingspan in a situation like that, right?
And feet like Mikhail Baryshnikov. Edwards elevates from the baseline, misses the chippy. Markinson's got the double-double now. 11 and 10 for him after that board.
Important stat for LMU. Need Markinson to get going. He has. He's been excellent tonight.
McClendon over the top to Scott, and Scott can't get the 2 to go down.
And the importance of Eli Scott playing well is now you can't just double-team Markinson. When you get out and double-team Markinson, Scott is able to take advantage on the block. If you play behind him, he's been scoring all night. And once you front him, he's good enough, wide enough, and has well enough hands to catch and finish.
WCC All Access gives you an inside look at the West Coast Conference with insider access. Featured stories, highlights, and more. Don't miss new episodes of WCC All Access premiering each month. Visit WCCSports.com for upcoming air times in your area. Colby Ross going to the bench with 4 personal fouls with 8:07 to go. Let's mark that down.
Huge play.
The lead is 7 for LMU, and Ross goes to the bench. It's such a tough place for the Waves to win.
LMU so much comfortable this time around.
This looks like the LMU team that was 11 and 1 to start the year.
Yep.
Wins over UNLV and Georgetown. Cam Edwards, boy, he puts the Waves on his shoulder there with a big 3, and he's got 20.
He's a wanted player. You want it, he got it.
Yeah.
You wanted 3, here you go. LMU on the run, well, you got to answer.
65 points now in his last 2+ games for Cam Edwards. And he knocked that one away.
You want to see this ring. You want to hit one of the bigs on the elbow, and then you see another big for LMU diving to the rim. You got the high low on the kid. LMU up 59-55.
game separates these two PCH Cup rivals in the WCC standings, and 4 points separating them with 7:29 to play inside Gersten Pavilion. Steve Quist, Ryan Hollins, Kirsten Watson with you. Lions trying to defend their home turf here for the 4th consecutive year against the Waves. It'll be LMU basketball with that 4-point lead. Their biggest lead of the afternoon has been 6. Quintana's had a nice game. Tipped in there. I think they're going to give it to Markinson. Or do they give it to Scott?
If you're Coach Dunlap, you're telling your team to do what they did right there. Quintana getting downhill.
Another steal. They had 9 steals in the game.
And Quintana just attacking the basket because you got the size advantage inside. Give your big fellas a chance to go get it off the rim.
Lorenzo Romar knew that LMU would play much better than they did 16 games ago. And 3 there by Damian Douglas makes it a 9-point game.
Damian Douglas showing up big, knocking down 2 threes. Normally known for his hustle.
7 points for Douglas. Here's Dunn. Can't get it to go down. And Markinson has an 11th rebound of the afternoon.
Big bucket. LMU starting to feel it at home. Coach Dunlap up off the bench calling horns. You want to get an elbow catch for one of the bigs.
They're tops in the conference in scoring defense. They only allow 61 points a game. They've held Pepperdine to 55 right now.
And what's tough is, you know, once LMU's feeling it, they're going to grind the clock. Oh, big time charge from Dunn, making a senior-like plays. But what's tough, Steve, is that when LMU's up, they're going to grind the clock. You see Dunn stepping in because that was going to be a dunker leg. You had 2 guys that were going to dunk that basketball. Pick your poison, and Dunn gets the big charge. But if you're LMU, it's tough when they're up because they're going to grind that clock all the way out. They're going to move the ball. They're going to defend. They're not going to give anything up easy.
Ross comes back in when he left for his 4th personal. The Waves were down 7. He comes back in. They're down 9. Inside of 6 to go. He wants to take the 3 and Smith, but he hits it. Here they come.
You call that a coach's clip, where you run it back and say, this is how we want to move the ball. Remember it.
Johnny Smith with 9 points. 12 3-ball makes for the Waves here on the road tonight. Bateman drives against Smith, puts it up and scores it.
Great defense, better offense. LMU feeling it.
8-point game. Pepperdine went 2-16 a year ago. They've already got 2 wins. Quintana, another steal, my goodness. And it leads to a run out of the bucket by Damian Douglas.
It's been the defense of LMU and the grittiness to keep fighting, keep moving, keep running offense, keep defending. They've done all the little things so far. Can they hold on?
10 steals now. Quintana has 3. McClendon has 6. Scott has the other. And they're defending at the rim, too.
They're feeling it. Look at the body language of Pepperdine. They're definitely not quitting, but they're trying to figure things out. And LMU catching stride. Watch these cuts. Watch the movement of Loyola.
10-point lead. Quintana for the knockout punch. Ross the rebound.
Didn't get his feet set.
Quintana picks up Ross, spin move. Ross got it.
Know a thing or two. Chino Hill's product. Big time play.
Yep, the defensive play of the game brought to you by Geico. 1 15-minute call can save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Good job. Weak side shot blocker, stepping up and timing up. Kobe Ross. Oh! LMU's feeling it, man. They're scrambling around.
Cooper and count it.
Silly foul right there, showing his age. Jermaine Douglas runs him down and has a foul, or you might want to let a guy go knowing you can't get there, but you love there. But watch Eli Scott coming here from the weak side. Bang! Take it in the face. Watch out.
Foul was on Douglas. It's his second. He's going to send Cooper to the line here and drop a big three-point play.
That's what Douglas is going to know. You know, wherever he gets, you know, if you run down to his hands, you know, take the guy out there.
It remains an 8-point ball game. Big miss there by the Waves at the free throw line.
And if you're Pepperdine, you don't want to fall into a situation where you need to start putting up three-pointers. So you got to get stops and run-outs here.
Pepperdine's usually a really good free throw shooting team. They're at 50% in this game. Bateman step back over Smith. No good. Rebounded there by Dunn.
Good defense from Pepperdine.
Ross will take the three, and Ross will make it. 5-point game.
That's why you love Kobe Ross. You never count this kid out. He's got the heart of a champion, and we'll see what he has coming down the stretch.
That's his only made field goal of the proceedings, and there's 3:31 to go, and a timeout called by Mike Dunlap, and we'll stretch it out to a media timeout. Colby Ross picks about the most perfect time to hit his one and only three. 13th of the day for the Waves, and they've got a puncher's chance when we come back. Back in Los Angeles, Loyola Marymount with a 5-point lead over Pepperdine. Lions are going to have the basketball and a big possession. The guard play has been amazing. Between the two of them, Ryan, they have 18 combined assists in the game.
Couldn't ask for more. And your guards are supposed to lead the offense. They're supposed to take command, get guys in position, make sure you're cutting right, moving right, shoot when you're supposed to shoot, pass when you're supposed to pass. And we're seeing an elite exhibition of guard play from Bateman, from Quintana, from Ross, even though he's been in foul trouble. But watch Kobe Ross turn it on. Coach Romar talks and brags all the time about how this kid hates to lose basketball games. Look for him to have some clutch buckets.
3:21 and counting. Scott has it. 12 to go on the shot clock. 5-point lead for LMU.
Pepperdine's locked into another gear right now.
Bateman, and an offensive foul called at Bateman.
Pepperdine is locking into another gear, man. Look at the body language. Romar's up off the bench. There's this scowl in the face of the Waves. Big time play. Not about excuses. Dunn stepping in for another timely charge. He knows he's got the scout report on Bateman. He's coming to the hole. Gets there in time, takes it in the chest. Tough play.
Third foul on Bateman. 8th team foul against LMU. Pepperdine has only fouled 3 times in the second half. Here's Ross, got the screen high. Head fake by Dunn. He's doubled. Ross out to Dunn, spots up in front of his bench. Misses. Rebound either Scott or Douglas. We'll let the stat guy figure out who gets credit for it.
Good look there from Dunn. Very makeable shot. He's an excellent three-point shooter.
Big empty possession for the Waves.
If you're LMU, you want to move clock. You want to move clock. Take your time. There's no rush right here. But what you don't want is a turnover.
Scott puts it on the floor.
You want to throw the ball out of bounds before you turn it over.
3 to shoot. Bateman a step back jumper over Edwards and a shot clock violation.
If we liken this to football, the offensive LMU is going into a prevent defense. So you want to hold the ball out. You want to see how much time you can milk off this clock and let your defense bring it home. You're punting on 4th down. Nothing special.
Ross, he almost lost it, and they say McClendon touched it last. I was just looking at the turnovers. We talked about how Pepperdine's plus 4.3 to lead the WCC. They've only committed more turnovers once this year than opponent. They've turned it over 15 times to LMU's 12, so the Lions able to flip the script here on the way.
I think we can attribute every single turnover in the game to Jeffrey McClendon.
Yeah.
Good ones and the bad ones. Okay, he's taking them, and he giving.
10 steals. I mean, this kind of defensive effort's going to make it tough on BYU to win here.
Yep.
Some of the top talent in the league. Ross with a contested 3. It's good. McClendon was swiping at it. Now it's a 2-point game inside of 2 to go.
Steve, I tell you, he's a competitor. There's a will to win with Kobe Ross.
2 clutch threes late, and an offensive foul on Scott. This time down the floor, Pepperdine can tie it.
Coach Romar and company feeling it. They're digging in. There's something special when you have a relationship between coach and player and how you drew it up, stepping in, making the tough play. The way he's feeling it off the bench. Kobe Ross with the big 2 threes. But Steve, goodness, execution. What more could we ask for here?
While you watch West Coast Conference action, join the conversation using the hashtag WCC Hoops. And for the latest news, scores, and more, follow WCC Hoops on Twitter. Hey, you know, Ryan, at the 5:05 mark of the second half, LMU was up by 10 points. You're talking a little over 3 minutes to go.
Yep.
A little bit, well, 3 minutes ago, I should say, not to go. And this time down, Pepperdine can equalize, maybe take the lead with a 3.
Yeah. And Kobe Ross gets that look in his eye that says, hey, coach, I don't care how bad my game was, how many fouls, how many turnovers, it's winning time. And he's locked in, hit 2 big threes. The Pepperdine Waves have done it not with their size, but taking charges. They've done it moving their feet, sliding over tough plays. Those are 4-point swings. You take a charge, and on the other end, you knock down the 3. Actually 5. Excuse my math.
They've made 14 threes. LMU applies the defensive pressure in the backcourt.
Oh, these guys are good. You gotta love it. West Coast Conference at its finest.
Again, just a game separates the 2 in the standings. 90 seconds to go. Cooper, another 3. Nope, off the front of the rim.
That's not a shot, more of a catch and shoot guy.
They should have gotten a better shot than that. They could have gotten a better shot, too.
Kobe Ross or Cam Edwards has to demand the basketball in that situation.
2-point game coming up on a minute to go. Big offensive possession here for the Lions. Here's Douglas. He got a good look. And blocking foul on Dunn.
Dunn had taken 2 prior charges. Slides in for the 3rd. Big time basket for LMU. Douglas goes up. Oh, baby. Somebody tell him he's a freshman. Somebody tell him freshmen don't make plays like that.
Unable to complete the 3-point play. It's still a 2-possession game inside of a minute to go. Ross up ahead, lobs it up for Schmidt. They cut the lead in half.
That's what you want.
1.9 to go.
Steve, that's what you don't want. You don't want to give up the quick bucket. And trust me, nobody knows time and score like Kobe Ross. Ooh. Omar calls the timeout. He's probably looking to set up a little run and jump, a little full court pressure right here. And what's tricky is you can't foul. You can't foul because you have to get a stop. You're playing the stop game. Why? You got a team like LMU that's not going to turn it over, 1. And for 2, they're going to milk the heck out that clock.
And the officials are having a chat here. I don't know they're going to go to the monitor on something. They're looking at whether to give Pepperdine the timeout or not, or how many they had left. Enzo Romar came off the bench to call the timeout. I didn't see anything that looked improper.
Well, whether he could call them or not, he got away with it.
They gave him a delay of game warning because he jumped out onto the court to call the timeout. I don't think the officials were able to hear him, so he made sure he went out on the court before the ball got inbounded to say, I want the timeout.
Well, that's a veteran move, because if they miss that, that could be ball game. That could be
exactly.
3 or 4 seconds off
Yeah,
the
you
clock.
get caught in transition.
And now you got a team that has one primary ball handler. Quintana's a decent ball handler, better known as a shooter, you know, but he can score it. So how do you get the ball across half court? And your 3-man is the main Douglas, you know, and he's better known for his defense. He's knocked down some huge threes today in the rivalry game, showing up to play. But this full court pressure is a problem. And if you're LMU, you probably have a pressure release, you know, throw your 7-foot guy with soft hands right in the middle of that press and see if you can't get the ball up the floor. Not to mention Matthias Markinson is an excellent shooter, foul shooter.
But Pepperdine got a delay of game warning. That's all I've been able to tell out of all this right now. And
Eli Scott, also an excellent ball handler. Played in that Chino Hills, that record season with the Ball brothers. He's seen some big moments. He's played a lot of basketball. I think they averaged 200 points a game over there.
Yeah. A lot of cherry picking. Just throw it down and go.
Oh, gosh.
All right, so LMU has the basketball. 51.9 to go after the made bucket. Pepperdine only has 14 fouls, so they may want to foul a little bit here. Let's play out the possession. They're not going to be able to send LMU to the line.
Oh!
And is that an offensive foul? Let's see. Or is it timeout? They're going to get a timeout right before Ross took one in the chops from Bateman.
They missed that.
Yeah.
That was an offensive foul. When your elbow goes across a guy's face, that's a foul. That's a player control foul that the referees missed. Now, consequently, at the same time, he's calling timeout. But it's a very violent way to call a timeout. Take one in the face, Steve.
Now they'll go over and look at it, see if it's a flagrant one or not. They can do that here in the final 34.7, even though they didn't call the foul.
Steve, they have called lesser today for flagrants.
Look between the circles here.
Watch him crowding, balls up. Watch when he comes back across right here. Boom. Yeah, that's a foul.
Yeah.
Player control. You can't catch a guy in the face with your elbows. And Kobe Ross knows it. Bateman's stuck. Bateman's going to do the right thing, pivoting out of pressure. And right when he comes up, watch it, Ross take up the airspace. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he caught him, and he's not flopping there. Now, the worry is Ross flopping, because Ross knows how to manipulate the referees, and we've got a veteran crew here who is used to seeing that, but he took one for the team right there.
Bateman was almost called for a 5-second violation, so that's why he was trying to call the timeout. They granted LMU the timeout, so they have none left. But whether or not it's a flagrant one, that would be a big situation to call a flagrant one.
Now, the question is Ross flopping. Yeah. What do you think?
Oh, man, he got the elbow.
No, that was real. I told you the kid would do anything to win a basketball game, and he literally putting his face in it.
Wow. Well, normally the officiating crew comes over and tells the broadcast team after reviews, but as we said, I haven't seen this crew before, so I'm not sure how experienced they are.
Brandon Roy, Nate Robinson, Markel Fultz, #1 pick in the draft. You got all these guys that Romar's coached. He says Kobe Ross is the most competitive kid he's ever coached. He has no off switch. And you see it there, sacrificing his face.
So no flagrant foul will be called, no foul called, period. And LMU is able to take the timeout, and they'll have to inbound it. There's 13 to go on the shot clock, 34.7 to go on the game clock.
If you're LMU, you're looking for Quintana or Bateman to get the basketball. I'm guessing since Bateman's taking it out, he's going to have a little give and go action where he comes right back and gets the ball. 13 seconds to get it up.
Into Marcus, and again, only 4 team fouls for Pepperdine, so they have to play out the possession now. Quintana. Bateman puts it up. Bateman can't get it to go. And a foul over the back, a push.
Oh.
Who'd they get? Did they get the Wave player?
Wait, no.
They might have gotten.
Eli Scott crashed in. I think the ball is staying here. So now if you're Pepperdine, you got to foul. If they're not in the bonus right now, you got to foul.
They just gave it to Cooper here. That's his 4th. So now with 22.2 to go, now you got to start fouling as much as you can.
Foul. You got to foul.
And they don't need to shoot that quick.
Oh, God. Wow.
Douglas didn't need to shoot it that quick.
Pepperdine needs a 3 right now with the basketball.
Edwards, and he'll take the 2 with 10 seconds to go.
Now you got
Pepperdine will call the timeout.
Yeah. Steve, right now, if we get a chance, let's look at the foul shooting percentages of LMU. If you're LMU, who do you want to have the basketball? They haven't been particularly great.
Well, hey, you got 10 seconds to go, and Pepperdine's only given 5 fouls, right? So they got to give 2 more fouls.
Well, what you do is you go for the basketball first, and you see if you can't get it. 2 hands for the basketball. Now, if you can't get it, you run through the guy with the basketball in his hands. You run through him and see if you can't get a big steal.
Or I would even foul before the inbound, for goodness sakes, twice.
Wow.
This is pretty gutsy. You didn't have to shoot that. You could have run out the clock or let Pepperdine foul.
I told you the freshman ignorance is bliss, man. You don't know any different.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All right, Pepperdine has got to foul a few times here to put LMU at the free throw line. You go for the steal, too. And that's probably your first priority.
Talk about being impressive. Douglas can just turn and post up Pope. He's going to get the basketball. I'd stay away from Johnny Smith.
Foul on Polk.
That's the right guy you want with the basketball. In the youth of Pepperdine, did not know, hey, don't let Joe Quintana get the basketball right now. Anybody else gets it other than Joe Quintana.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, anybody else in the gym other than Joe Quintana can get the basketball.
So that took a half second off the clock. They've got to foul again quickly as they were going for the steal. It's a push, but it's what Pepperdine wanted.
Big time play from Quintana. As we say, anybody else can get it from but him. And Quintana finds his way to get the basketball. Gutsy basketball play.
All right, so that sequence right there of having to foul on the inbound, not only once but twice to put LMU at the line, that took 1.9 seconds off the clock. So with 8.1 to go, Mike Dunlap's going to move everybody back. It'll be up to Quintana here at the free throw line.
And what you don't mind is that this easily could have swayed to Pepperdine if they call that offensive foul. And it was an offensive foul. But instead of sitting back and being conservative in the prevent offense, you would say, where you just kind of hold the ball and jack one at the basket. LMU is taking this game. They're taking it. They're not sitting back and waiting. We may not agree with it, but they're going to get it.
Quintana hits them both. They need a quick 2. Ross got the 3 block. That should do it. Marcusson, ball game.
Tell me this rivalry doesn't mean anything. Tell me these guys didn't leave it all on the floor tonight. We didn't see a chess match of 2 of the greater coaches, not just in the West Coast Conference, but in college basketball. What more could you ask for?
That's 4 in a row for LMU at home over Pepperdine to win their 2nd conference game. Today's clutch performer of the game, presented by Nike, is Joe Quintana, the sophomore out of West Covina, California.
Quintana was excellent, knocking down 3 balls, attacking the rim, facilitating, and then he brings down the dagger free throws down the stretch. Quintana knows it means a little more tonight, not just for the conference, but the rivalry. Bragging rights for the PCH. Bragging rights for the PCH.
The cup moves 19 miles south now. for the time being. And Quintana had 15 points, 5 assists as you saw, but equally as big was the 3 steals that he had in the game.
Oh,